So let's talk about USAID as an example. It may be financially a blip in terms of federal spending, but my sense is that really much of that was of going after USAID was ideologically the
Yeah.
idea this is an agency full of liberals. They have a real internationalist worldview. They really don't care. I'm putting this in their characterization. They really don't care that much about the U.S. per se. They're really their hearts are with the globalist community, and that's what motivates that action. Do you think that that's the case?
I happen to know a great deal about USAID. I wrote about their programs in Afghanistan, many of which were failures. I wrote about their programs in Ukraine. I accompanied Samantha Power, the last administrator, to Ukraine in the summer of 2023, and I saw that USAID in an area like that actually could do a lot of good. I also saw that some of our people in the field are courageous Americans who are going out to far-flung places and putting their lives on the line for the sake of doing good. Are they liberal bleeding hearts? I didn't give them a political quiz when I was out there. I saw them as American patriots doing their best in advancing, soft American power and achieving humanitarian aims. Now, there's no question that in all kinds of way, a lot of money is misspent. A lot of what USAID does is distribute money to companies in the Beltway, the so-called Beltway bandits that have shall we say, variable degrees of competence in terms of distributing aid in other countries. And you can look to all kinds of cases where USAID fails. But there are also other cases where it succeeds and where it becomes an arm, a very valuable arm of American power. And I mentioned Ukraine. It did a tremendous amount of good there in helping Ukrainians get their goods to international markets, rebuilding, clearing minefields, you name it. There was a lot of good there.
So why is it you think that President Trump and those in his orbit don't see it that way? Is this because those people don't think the way we do, or what? I'm trying to get at what drives that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that it's been an ideological hobby horse of the far right to get rid of USAID as a kind of example of American overstretch and a strain on the budget, money being spent in, I don't know, Congo that should be spent in Chicago, say. There's that ideological view. I think there's no doubt that it was seen as a kind of, especially in Washington, it was seen as an ideological opponent of the president. And this is an administration in which loyalty is the premier virtue, personal loyalty to the president and to his agenda. And I think they thought that it would be politically costless, that even Americans who, in theory supported something like USAID wouldn't consider it a political red line. It would be considered an example of the president doing what he promised.
Next Wednesday, another stellar guest, one of America's most heralded historians, Douglas Brinkley. My friend Pat Morrison leads the conversation, titled The American Presidency, A Presidential Historian's Perspective. That's next Wednesday, May 7th, 5 p.m. Pacific. For Janice, Zev, and Mel, I'm Larry Mantle. Good night.